Good morning, team. I'm so glad that you could come join me today. Whether you're doing this in the morning or the evening, it doesn't really matter. It's going to feel amazing. So go ahead and come down and join me on the mat. We're going to start in a plank, lowering our body nice and slowly down to the ground. And we're going to start with an upper body reach. So we're going to peel one hand in a big circle above our body, reaching that hand to the opposite wall, keeping the knee pinned on the floor. And we're going to come back to neutral, reaching the other hand in a big circle above our head. We're keeping the knee on the ground and reaching that arm all the way across the body. I want you guys to really think about your breath during this workout today. All about big deep breaths in through the nose, a big relaxing breath out through the mouth, really letting go of all of the struggles or any type of stress that you might have incurred over the weekend. Big deep breaths as we reach up and over the body, reaching that hand out to the other wall, really pulling through that knee. Good job, you guys. Big deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Great, and we're coming back to center here. We've got one more reach on either side. Big deep breaths, biggest reach that you've got this morning. Good, you guys. Great. We're going to go ahead and give some love into the lower half of the body. So peel one toe off of the ground, keeping both of the elbows on the ground for that nice big stretch. Coming to the other side. Really keeping the elbow on the ground. You should feel a nice stretch in the lats or in the mid-body. Big, deep stretch. Really finding the breath through this, in through the nose, out through the mouth as we reach across the body into the deep stretch. Good job, you guys. Really relax that neck. I'll walk you through the whole workout. We're drawing our toes back over the body. And that is it. Great job, you guys. So we're going to go ahead and come right back up into plank. And we're going to start off today with some plank slow crossbody mountain climbers. So in a nice strong plank, I want you to draw one of those knees up to the opposite elbow. Nice and slow. We're going to start here in just a second. Good, so go ahead and peel that toe off the ground to the opposite elbow and start those crossbody mountain climbers. We're alternating our legs as we go through this. A nice easy 4 to start off with. Great job, you guys. Really drawing those knees to the opposite elbow. And then start into your second half. We've got 5 and number 6. Keep pulling those knees towards the elbows for 7 and 8. Awesome job, you guys. Replace it back to that plank. And we're going to go ahead and head on into Happy Baby. So go ahead and flip it over onto your back. Toes are pulling towards the nose. We're going to leave the hands out of it today. So just send one heel down to the ground and the opposite heel down to the ground. Big deep breaths. Great job, you guys. I really want you to think about the top toes pulling towards the nose as that leg drops down to the ground. Really activating the lower core to hold that leg up and also pull the other down to the ground. How is your neck and shoulders doing here? Nice and relaxed? Good. Go ahead and come back out of that movement. We're actually going to head now into a forearm side plank. So when you're setting this up, make sure that the elbow is tucked right underneath the shoulder. In this movement especially, we kind of have a tendency to bring that elbow out too far, and that places a lot of stress onto the shoulder. So elbow right underneath the shoulders. We're stacking this up nice and tall. Hips lift up to the ceiling and hand gazes up. The eyes are going to follow the hand as it needles underneath our body and right back all the way up to the ceiling. Take note of where your feet are. They are not stacked on top of each other. They should be stagger stance. Create a little bit more stability in the lower half so that those hips can really drive up to the ceiling in that nice C shape. Make sure that you're not collapsing into that shoulder either. Really press through that bottom shoulder to create some space in the neck. Good job, you guys. So we're flipping it over to the other side. Once again, replacing that elbow into a nice strong stacked place underneath the shoulder. Lifting those hips up in our staggered stance. Eyes are following that hand as it guides under and all the way up. Good job, team. Big deep breaths here. Really press that shoulder down, create some space away from the ear. Good job, you guys. You got this. I'm sweating, but we're going. Good job, and that is it. All right, so for our next movement, we're gonna go ahead and come into a plank mountain climber, but we're actually gonna tuck the toes in the front so that we can get a nice glute stretch, okay? So let's go ahead and play around with how we feel in our plank. And we're gonna drive that right knee up. We're gonna tuck the toes into that mountain climber though, and just sit. And we're gonna go ahead and tuck the toes in the back and replace that leg into the other side. Awesome job. When you get into this deep stretch position, press the shoulders down away from the ears, gaze up. Go ahead and shake your head no. Just really relax the upper body and the neck. And we're just going back and forth for 8. Good. Big deep breaths. I hope that this is starting to feel a little better for you today. If this stretch didn't feel sore at all for you, it's not tight at all, that is fantastic. If that's the case, I still want you to keep going through this movement, because the more that we don't do things, the worse that they get. So keep going. We're almost there through this stretch. Good job, you guys. Pressing those shoulders away from the body, the head, the ears, creating that beautiful space. Last one. Good job. All right, so big deep breaths. We're getting ready to go into a downward dog. So send those hips up to the ceiling. Head is going to press through the shoulder blades, and you're walking the dog with the feet, testing out how the calves and how the hamstrings feel. Good job, you guys. Really focusing on pressing the head through the shoulders and hips up to the ceiling. Next from this, we're going to go ahead and come into a plank downward dog. A plank mountain climber crossbody reach goodness. I'll walk you through that here in just a second. Good job, you guys. So coming back down into that plank, here comes this mountain body crossbody goodness. So we're going to pick up one of those legs, crossbody mountain climber, back to plank, and reach that leg all the way up and over the body for a nice big hip opener. Okay, a couple things to note about this movement. We're going to come back into mountain climber at the end and back into plank. So go ahead and draw that other knee up to the elbow. You're going to send it back. I want you to keep the hips closed until you just absolutely can't anymore as you're drawing that leg up and over the body, opening it up. Bring it back to straight and extended, but turn those hips closed so the toes are pointing down as soon as possible. And in between, you're going to come back into the mountain climber and back into the downward dog in between each set. Good job, you guys. Find that hip opener, chest opener, belly opener. And if that drop of the leg up and over the body is just feeling a little uncomfortable today, that is okay. Play around with how the big leg reach up feels. Good job, you guys. Big deep breaths. Really flattening through those hands. Good, and we're going to go ahead and bring it into a child's pose rest for right now. If you need to take some stress off of the shoulders or off of the wrists, go ahead. Find a big, deep breath to center yourself. We have 4 more of these that we're going to go into. Great job, you guys. So we're placing our hands back into plank, dropping the shoulders down and heading into downward dog. We're going to finish off these crossbody mountain climbers. Awesome. Bring that knee up and over, big deep stretch. And go ahead and coming right back into that mountain climber crossbody on the other side, keeping the hips closed and then opening them up and reaching them over. You want to reset with the hips closed before you drop that leg back down into the mountain climber. Great job. Big deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth as you bring that all the way over. Great job, you guys. I'm thinking this is our last one. All the way up, open up those hips. And back to the closed parallel. Draw the knee in for mountain climber and back to plank. Good job. Let's go ahead and finish it up into downward dog. Moving through this movement, we're going to walk our feet up to our hands or our hands back to our feet. Bend those knees and slowly roll the body all the way up. Good job, you guys. I'm so proud of you today and this week. I know that we're just going to rock it. So remember, use this workout every morning or every night, but once a day to get yourself feeling good. Thanks, guys.